honor him today. Give him glory today. Just tell him thank you for the things he's done. Thank him for who he is, who he's been, and who he will always be. Love without end. Love without end, y'all. A love that never changes. There's not a friend like, no friend like that, y'all. Oh, thank you, Jesus. All right, now that we have invited our Father in on this broadcast, how are you guys? I hope you guys are doing well today. It's me. It is Asia. Thank you for joining me for another message. This one in particular, I want to talk to my sisters, in Christ, because I always get the question, how did I get to this place in my life with God? How did I begin to love myself? What were some of the steps I took, and what the process was like? And so I just kind of want to give some pointers that, to point you in the right direction, at least, to let you know what helped me and how I began to love myself. I have written down some bullet points just because I didn't want to miss anything important when sharing this information with you. But so I'm just going to get right on into it. I've already prayed, and the Holy Spirit is already with me and everything. And yeah, so I pray that you find this very, inspirational and informative as well. So how I begin to love myself, this goes as far as back as the very beginning, when God first called my name, where I'll say when I was first able to hear him, when he had finally got my attention, he had tore me down to nothing. I didn't really have a choice but to call on him, And as I look back over the years, I can say that I never knew I wasn't loving myself. You know what I'm saying? I was just allowing people to be able to, to walk all over me, do what they want to do, say what they want to say, and I would just deal with it, and not even aware that the reason they were doing this was because I wasn't respecting myself. I didn't know what it was back then, but I wasn't respecting myself, and I wasn't loving myself. I was showing people how to treat me by the way I allowed them to do it, So once I left the marriage and I entered into my last relationship, is when God began to really, call my name. You know what I'm saying? And he did that through adversity and, hardship. I fell on hard times and stuff, and I didn't know where else to turn to. You know what I'm saying? Like all I had was him. And so I began to read his word more to see what his word said about my current situations, whether it was, trust, whether it was peace, whether it was love, anger, my attitude, whatever it was. I was digging for that, thinking, I'm like, okay, I can do this, until I start running into the part where I had to give up that relationship I was in, the relationship that I loved, the relationship that meant so much to me. I had to give that up because of its foundation. It was built on adultery. And God is like, well, if you're going to follow me, I can't let you have that. You're going to have to give that up, so it really began to become challenging for me at that point. Oh man, because I wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't ready for that. I went into my relationship with him blindly, not knowing fully what to expect. And I'm just like, oh my God, here we go. So he would begin the process of separation and the process of elimination, so he had to first get me to see what was wrong about the relationship I was in and why I had to let it go. That was the first thing. It was almost kind of like, now that I got your attention, this is first things first. You gotta let this go. This is going to be a hindrance for what it is I'm getting ready to do in your life. So but I can honestly say I didn't know the extent. I didn't know the extent of what, the extent of the pain it will cause once he began to call me out of that relationship. I held on to that relationship for dear life. It was to the point up until God said enough, enough. And he caused him to walk away from me instead, you know. And so after that relationship was over, it never really was over for a couple of years after that. I guess maybe it was just the title that was no more, but everything else was still going on and stuff. But during that time, I was still kind of by myself, because he had hardened his heart at that moment. Like, there was nothing that I could do to fix the relationship or anything. So the process will begin with him showing me myself. At this point, I would have to lay down some things. I would have to surrender some things that I didn't want to surrender. I had to learn how to forgive, how to apologize, how to take accountability for my actions. I had to learn how to be the bigger person, how to turn the other cheek. I had to self-evaluate a lot. That hurt. That part hurt. I had to get over myself. I had to rid myself of some old habits and ways of thinking. I had to realize my selfishness and how hypocritical I was. And it was so painful. It's so painful to find out all these things, about you. It's like God giving you a mirror and, asking you what it is you see. And he's just, asking you to dig deeper and deeper and deeper within yourself. So many days I would just sit there and just cry like I'm over this, but it's going to cost you something. To begin to love yourself, it's going to cost you something. I begin to question my decision on, giving it all up for God. God, I gave it all up to you. And what have I gotten myself into? I don't think I can survive this, because it was at that point where I was still, going back and forth, breaking my own heart. Like I didn't like the feeling that all this stuff God was doing in me. I'm like, oh no, I want to go back. I thought I wanted this, but this ain't what I want. So I'm about to go back. And every time I went back, I went back and forth, breaking my own heart, But I would begin to learn that it was the control I had a hard time letting go of the most, surrendering control, and control of what you ask. I learned about myself that I had to be in control of everything that involved me, whether it was people or things in my life. If I wasn't getting my way, it would make me angry and upset, but I didn't know how bad this was. It felt like I needed that relationship, because I relied on that relationship to feel like something, to feel whole, to be happy, to feel joy, to feel joy, to feel validated and worth something. So when I didn't have control over that anymore, when what I said to him wasn't working, it wasn't bringing him back, or it wasn't making him stop talking to all these girls in my face, it like nothing that I was doing wasn't working. And it was the control that I had such a hard time with letting go of, being in control of that situation, being in control of him, And sure enough, he was breaking my heart with the way he was treating me. Excuse me, y'all. But ultimately, it was God allowing it to happen because I would need that pain. Not just the pain of what he was doing to me, but because of my need to be in control of the situation. And the pain but the pain I was experiencing would eventually cause me to give up my control. So I'm going to say that right, because that's a whole word right there. He was breaking my heart with the way he was treating me. But ultimately, it was God allowing it to happen because I would need the pain, not just the pain of what he was doing to me, but because of my need to be in control of the situation. The pain I was experiencing would eventually cause me to give up my control. And so that's what God was doing in that moment for me. And I didn't even know what I needed. All I knew was that I wanted the pain to go away, and I thought that he could fix it. I did. I thought that he had all the answers and he had the solution to the problem. If you come back to me, I'll feel whole again. If I can hug you, I'll feel better for the moment. Maybe if I lay down with him, he'll come back. Maybe if I overcompensate a little bit and give him gifts and money and see what it is he needs, that maybe he'll come back. I just want to smell his neck. I just want to, I just want to touch him. I just want to be in his presence. I felt like he could fix that. God had to tell me, your answers ain't in him. You know what I'm saying? I hold the answers. I hold the answers to everything, every question that you have, you know. But the whole time God was like, please don't go over there. Please don't pop up over there. It's a woman over there. You know what I'm saying? Asia, I can save you from that. Please just stay here with me. Please don't go. If I can imagine him saying anything, it would have been that. I can keep you from experiencing that pain if you just hold on a little while longer. Just hold on just a little while longer. He was fighting for me. He was fighting for me. He was fighting for my breakthrough. He was fighting for my healing and for my deliverance. He was fighting for me to be free. And every time I came back, God was right there waiting for me to wipe my tears. He never left. Although I know he didn't want me to go, he probably even put it in my spirit for me not to go. But I felt like I had to go. But he never left me. He was right there waiting for me when I returned. And he would begin to tell me, like, Asia, this is so much bigger than you. You need to press your way out of this. I need you to press. There are so many sisters who will remain broken as a result of your stubbornness. There are women who are counting on you. But I couldn't see all of that. I really wasn't trying to see all of that. All I knew was that this pain that I was feeling, it was more than any other thing that he was trying to show me, And so after doing all of this, and it's a never ending process, so don't beat yourself up. He'll be pruning us. He says that any tree that bear fruits, he prunes so that it can produce more fruit. So this will be a never ending process. He'll always be pruning you of something. You'll always be sacrificing and giving up something. But eventually you'll get to a place in your relationship with him where you'll just give it to him. He ain't even got to tell you. He ain't even got to ask you for it. You would just know what it is, which things in your life you need to give to him. And then also you'll begin to quit putting yourself in a situation to have to give up something. You know what I'm saying? So, so after doing all of this, he begins to then show me through the reading of his word, who he says I am and what he expects of me and how precious I am to him as his daughter and as a chosen vessel, somebody that's chosen, that was predestined and chosen by him before the beginning of time. You know what I'm saying? What an honor that is. What a privilege that is. You know what I'm saying? That he chose you. Like nobody can come to the Father unless he sends for you. And just to know that you call me, man. So when did I truly start seeing myself different? You know how they say, I don't know when God did it, he just did it. It was one of those moments for me. It was a divine moment. I don't know when it happened. You know what I'm saying? All I know is I got tired of allowing others to treat me any type of way and telling me what I was worth to them. I had to begin to start seeing my own worth in myself. I began having to see myself the way God saw me. He began to show me who I was and how much I was worth to him. He was, what he was telling me and what they were telling me wasn't adding up. You know what I'm saying? Like he began loving on me through others and sending me affirmations. Sometimes he would drop a word in my spirit and I'd be like, wow, God, what does that mean? And I get my phone and Google it. I don't mind. I'll get my phone and Google it and see what that says. And it's always something beautiful, y'all. Like it's always something beautiful. And I just thank him for that. Those are the little things that get you throughout the day when you're feeling lonely and when you're feeling, inadequate and like you're not enough, And, he began to show me favor and the perks of being his daughter, and the perks of being his friend. I was full of power and potential with him on the inside of me, and I just began believing what he was saying. Like, you know what, God, you're right. You are absolutely right. That's when I begin to see how, okay, if I'm not respecting myself and if I'm not valuing myself, this is why this person is treating me like this. It's not that they don't see that in you. They just don't want you to see it. So they make sure that they continually try to tear you down so that you can't. But when God gives you confidence, when you have that God confidence and he begins to tell you who you are, oh God. And this don't just go for no ex or nobody. This goes for the naysayers. This goes for the people who counted you out, the people who feel like, oh, she gonna always be, always be the same. And the people that don't want to see you grow, people don't want to see you doing good and elevating and stuff. This goes for them too, So I just started believing I was worth more. He had to teach me what real beauty was, y'all. I always felt like I was beautiful, but it was just always on the surface. It was just always on the outside and stuff like that. But he had to show me what real beauty was, and real beauty is meekness, it's kindness, it's having a quiet and gentle spirit, it's self-control, it's selflessness, it's maturity, it's confidence, humbleness, having a peaceful spirit, being pure and modest. I had to stop dressing the way that I used to dress, and I had to start carrying myself in a whole nother way. I'm getting older, and I'm raising my girls, and they're coming up behind me, and my son, and he's, seeing, my son knows how to respect his mama because of the way I respect him, and the way I respect myself, the way I carry myself. As he's growing up, I'm noticing, I'm listening to little things, hearing little things that he's saying about how he wants his wife to be because of the example that I set to him as a woman, but, so, I had to start covering up, because you can be just as beautiful, fully clothed, you know what I'm saying? And it's in here, you know what I'm saying? It's in here, but, it's about flying, underneath the radar, you know what I'm saying? Staying out the way. It's being submissive and being in alignment. It's being encouraging and helping others. It's being a good mother, being the woman of integrity, treating yourself with respect and dignity, doing what you say and saying what you mean. It's persevering. It's being focused and aware, of everything going on around you. It's accomplishing your goals and minding your business. I don't need to know what nobody else got going on. You know what I'm saying? If you need some prayer or something like that, I'm down with it. If you need some advice, I'm here. But I ain't got time. I don't want to know what nobody got going on. I'm sorry. I don't. It's about controlling your tongue and keeping your attitude in check and being sensitive to the needs of those around you and having faith in a prayer life and taking care of yourself and loving others. I'm sure the list goes on, but those are just some of the ones that just came off the top of my mind. But that's beauty. That's inner beauty, And so after that, what began to happen is once I began to believe what God was telling me, and I was feeling better, and I was healing, and I was in right standing with him, and I'm walking with him, and I'm being obedient as I can. I did slip up and fall a lot along those ways, but thank you for Jesus. That's all I can say about that. But I began to care for myself. Whenever I would leave the house, I would make sure I looked decent. You know what I'm saying? Not for nobody else, but because I began to feel good. My auntie used to always tell me, when your spiritual is right, your physical will be right. And once my spiritual got right, he started giving me things to do. Start working on your body. You know what I'm saying? Start exercising and eating healthy. You know what I'm saying? Feeding your kids, healthy food. It starts with me. Start ministering to your home. So I begin to and it's funny how he does this. He gives you things to work on so that you don't be so focused on the things of the world. You know what I'm saying? There'll be people saying things about you and all types of things going on, but y'all, he will cover your ears. He will keep you from hearing all the stuff that everybody is saying about you. You know what I'm saying? He will cover your ears to where you won't even know. You'll just been and heard something, and you just be like, well, I must have missed that, but he starts to give you things to work on. So I started dieting, I started exercising. He told me to look into being vegan, so that had my mind researching meals and products, and what does this do for you, and what are the health risks for eating meat, and just all kind of things. I'm at the gym, and I'm going running and going to play tennis, and whatever else, you know what I'm saying? And then you begin to see your body change. You start to see the fruits of your labor and everything like that. And that's very rewarding. It's very rewarding. And God is so strategic when he has you do these things, because you get to feel so confident. It's not a arrogance. It's just confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did that. You know, I ain't have to go do nothing to my body in order to get this. Like, I'm working hard on my body and putting all healthy things in my body because I want to be healthy enough for my kids. And whenever God send me my husband, I want to be healthy for him, and I want to feed him healthy things and you know, speak life into him and in our kids. And we got some traveling to do. We got book tours to do. You know what I'm saying? We got films to make. You know, and whatever it is my husband call is, I want to be there and with him as his help me with the kids and their calling and their purpose. Like, I gotta be healthy for that, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I can't be all broke down and don't feel like it. I need energy. You know, my metabolism has to be good. You know, and so I began to date myself. You know, ain't nothing like going to go enjoy a meal by myself. Even if it's, you know, if you can't do it all the time. I used to go only on payday weekends, you know, go and have me some breakfast on Saturday mornings, go get my nails and my toes did. I love going to get my hair done. You know, ain't nothing like some new foundation and, you know, doing your own facials and, but just, you know, now you got to go shopping because now you need a new wardrobe. You done lost some weight. You know, and I love riding and listening to music. My song done came on and I ain't tied it to nobody because I ain't got nobody to think about, you know, but just being able to really enjoy the weather, enjoy the scenery. I love going to the winery, you know, just sit out and just enjoy, you know, the sound of the water and people laughing and, you know, all those things, you know, just hanging out with your friends, with your girlfriends, traveling, whatever it is you enjoy doing, hanging out with your kids. Like, you know, when you are busy, you know, enjoying you and your alone time is very, very important. You know, yes, spend time with the kids and everybody else, but ain't nothing like that alone time. You know what I'm saying? You got to have God time, alone time, and time with your kids, and then everything else outside of the house. You know, but you know, I just begin to enjoy myself. You know, really enjoy myself. I begin to love myself, and all those things that you begin to do for yourself is your way of loving on yourself. You know, you loving others, and I love people the way that I love. I show love to others the way that I want love shown to me. You know, and what was I getting ready to say? Yeah, so like my book, you know, publishing my book and working on the video and all those things, you know, like he gave me something to do. Like, that just lets me know that, here, folks, keep your eyes on me. This is what I need you to do. You know, do these things for now. You know, and I can only imagine what else he has in store for us, you know, for me and my kids. You know, he gives you little visions and let you see the territory that he has already given you and just, oh God, y'all, it's amazing. And so I wouldn't have been able to do it without him. I wouldn't have been able to find out what loving yourself is like. You know what I'm saying? And when he shows you what your position is as his daughter, that just take things to a whole nother height. Like when you leave in the house, like when I'm leaving the house, if I'm going to the gas station or grocery store or something like that, you know, I know that he's with me. I'm never alone. And so I know I got this power. I got this force with me. You know, people looking at you, you know, wondering what it is they see. You know what I'm saying? It's always a reflection of your time spent, you know, in private with God. What you do in private with God, he will allow others to see that in public. You know what I'm saying? But it gives you a confidence. I got my daddy with me. Being his friend, let me ask my friend. Let me see what he has to say about that. You know, he's in control over everything that's going on around me, in control of all this traffic, these people and everything, and we walking. You know, it's just a confidence. And it's like once you know who you are in him, ain't nothing nobody can say to you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing nobody can do to change that. You know, another thing that I had to stop doing was I became selective of the people around me. I became selective of the places I would go, the music I would listen to. Now I still love my late 80s, early 90s music, and I really don't listen to Hot 103, but if I hear something that coming on the radio, maybe would make me dance or something like that. But, you know, you got to be careful of what you're feeding your mind with. You know, you got to feed your mind with good things, you know, and, you know, you just don't want to join in certain conversations no more. And, you know, all the negativity and stuff, you just begin to enjoy your peace. And that's just where you want to dwell, you know. So I pray that this was helpful, you know, to you. And, I would say just start with your relationship. It stems from your relationship with God. If you are experiencing some of the things that I've said, and God wasn't behind that, then you cheating yourself. You cheating yourself of what it could really feel like. You really are. And so you don't need a man to love, well, we all want love from the opposite sex, but just like you love on yourself, before he gets here, so that God forbid he was to walk away from you, he couldn't take that with you. Because when the guy I was with in the last relationship, when he left me, he took all of me with him. I felt like I was just, what was the point? I didn't have life no more. What was the point of living? You know what I'm saying? I felt like he took it all. But I can't even say I got my joy back, because I never had it. I got my confidence back because I never had it. All these things that I'm experiencing are the things that I'm experiencing for the very first time in my life. And I have my father to thank for that. Soon as some dude come try to tell you if it wasn't for him, then you wouldn't even know what? You made that up. I know what my father said. I know who my father said I was, and it sure didn't come from you. So yeah, like I said, I'll let you go. We've been talking for 30 minutes, and it was a little longer than what I had originally planned. But I pray, Queen, that this will help you, and that you will start there. Okay, so you have an awesome rest of your Sunday, and I'll talk to you next time.